What's up, everyone? It's Simon back here again for a sort of another edition of sort of a bit of Formula One. Obviously, sort of talk really in general. Obviously, I just sort of did. I wouldn't say do a little introduction. I mean, it was about 12 minutes long, so you can't really class that as an intro, to be fair. But sort of give sort of like the team lineups, and obviously sort of just a little going through a little bit through each team, what I sort of think might happen, might not happen. So basically, this video is going to be sort of my predictions to the Drivers' Championships and how well, obviously the names to keep an eye out on. I think that will do well and will surprise a few people. And obviously, like I say, the Drivers' Championship plus the Constructors' Championship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from 10 to first. So the Constructors sort of Championship side sort of things. I think, like I say, starting from number 10, so I'll go with Haas. They don't look too cracky, like I said in my intro. It's hard to sort of judge two new drivers in a sort of not so great car. But it's a shame to sort of see, well, Mick Schumacher comes probably to the worst of the worst cars. I think he's got more to offer. But then again, so could the other guys, Nikita Mazepin or something like his name is. Apologies if I got his name wrong. So yeah, but we shall see what happens, and yeah, it's just going to be sort of a bit of a struggle, I think, for them this year. But it's nice to see the Schumacher name come back in anyway, and it's fantastic to see. And hopefully he stays in Formula One for a while. If he does well, he will do. But if he doesn't, then obviously you know what will happen. He'll be booted out and probably go back to F2 or something like that. But anyway, the next team I got in ninth place for the Constructors is I've got Williams. I think it's just going to be another sort of struggle. I think it's just going to be another sort of battle of back of the grid. I know George Russell got a couple of got a few sort of decent sort of qualifying positions this year, last season. But sort of not follow through with the race, and that's just the way. It's just a shame, I think, because there is some of these cars that are sort of built for sort of literally one lap speeds, and there's some of the cars that are sort of built for literally racing and sort of qualifying as well, sort of thing, which obviously the teams we get into eventually later on. But it'll be interesting to sort of see what happens, obviously, with George Russell next year, to see what's going to be happening with Hamilton and Bottas for next season is going to be very interesting. All I can say is, on the note, I think if Hamilton does win the World Championship, I think he will retire, and I think George Russell will be taking his place. And I can probably also see actually Bottas leaving as well. But it wouldn't surprise me if they kept him on. But that's the way I got it. So there we go. So in eighth, I've got Alpha. Obviously representing them is Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi. I think it's just going to be another long season for them, really. Like I sort of said in the first part, it's just going to be sort of a struggle, I think, for them. Giovinazzi showed some pace at Bahrain. Kimi Raikkonen, the never-aging Kimi Raikkonen, he still looks the same now than he did 20 years ago. So he doesn't look any different to what he was back then, when he was sort of just a youngster sort of back then. But yeah, no, it's going to be a long season for them, and it'll be interesting to sort of see what happens for the season. Not this season, but this next season. See if he will still be in Formula One next year. So there we go. So that's Alpha in eighth place. So this will probably come into a surprise to you. I've got a couple of surprises. I've got Alpine. From what I've sort of seen at the moment, they're sort of struggling. Whether they're holding something back, I don't know. Obviously, you know, the team lineup's obviously Esteban Ocon and the returning of I suppose, F1 legend Fernando Alonso, if that's what we want to call him. Two very good drivers. The car doesn't look very sort of quick, but then again, it's another sort of classic case. What are they holding back? Are they holding anything back at all? Are they giving it the roll? We don't know. But at the end of the day, all these are just predictions from my point of view, from what I've sort of seen and sort of heard so far. So I could be completely wrong. I could get absolutely all of these wrong. But I sort of won't be far off. I'll probably get one or two right, I would have thought. So, but anyway, so all good indeed. So I got them for 7, which is sort of obviously sort of low down, sort of just under mid-table. So, but anyway, so So you'll probably be surprised again with this one. In sixth, I've actually got Aston Martin. I just don't know if they've got the pace. If they've got the pace of what they had the last year, I suppose the sort of sky's the limit, and they can probably challenge for podiums. They probably can challenge for top 10 places. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to sort of see what happens with Aston Martin this year. It's literally just sort of what like I say. I mean, all these can, like I said, can be completely wrong, but you never know. But it's nice to sort of see Vettel in the way, sort of moving away from Ferrari. I think they just sort of fell out of love with each other, and I think it just weren't meant to be in the end. I think he tried too hard to sort of do the same thing as what Michael Schumacher did in his day, go to Ferrari and try and win world championships. Didn't work out for him there, but still a great driver. 4 times world champion. In the Red Bull, he was just absolutely phenomenal. Couldn't be touched. But yeah, so I got them Aston Martin in 6th place. So there we go. So round mid-table, this will probably surprise you again. I actually have got AlphaTauri. It's going to be tight. I mean, just going back to sort of from Alpine in 7th to where I've got the next couple of teams. I think it's going to be really, really close. And I mean really, really close. I don't think there'll be more than 10 points in each sort of side come towards the end of the season. Going to be interesting. But yes, I've got AlphaTauri. So obviously, like I say, Pierre Gasly and obviously Yuki Tsunoda. Obviously, like I said in the first video, sort of what I did earlier, I've heard sort of phenomenal things about this young lad. Seems really, really good. And obviously Gasly, just fantastic as well. I think he's a phenomenal driver as well. Will be, in my eyes, I think, within one of the top 3 manufacturers. Even for my eyes, could replace Bottas at Mercedes. I think he's that good. I think he is really, really good. So it'd be interesting to sort of see what happens. Gasly was brilliant last year. Showed a lot of pace. Very, like I say, very talented, and obviously it'd be interesting to see the new rookie. So happy days. So like I say, it's got really tight. I mean, I was sort of torn between where to put 3rd and 4th. I know probably I am a bit biased, but I've actually gone for McLaren for 4th. I've not got McLaren in the top 3 constructors this year, even though they have a phenomenal lineup with Lando Norris and obviously who's been there for a couple of years now, and obviously Daniel Ricciardo, who joined from the former team known as Renault, which are now called Alpine, or Alpine, whatever you want to call them. So, interesting to sort of see what will happen this year. I mean, I can't praise Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris enough. I know it's sort of like the team who I sort of like and follow, have been, like I said, for many, many a season. Be interesting to see how quick they can be, but from what I've sort of seen, they seem to be doing some decent laps. They seem to be sort of going quite well. Could be another one of the teams holding back something. Obviously, apparently I think they're Mercedes powered this year, which is sort of going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. But I've got them down as a very close sort of 4th. So yeah, so there we go. So in 3rd place, I mean, the top 3 probably will be no surprise to you, but I'll sort of explain in more detail. I've got Ferrari to come 3rd. I was sort of, like I said, I was torn between McLaren 3rd or Ferrari 3rd. I just think Ferrari this year looking pretty decent shape. Charles Leclerc, phenomenal. Carlos Sainz was phenomenal as well in McLaren last year. So it'll be interesting to sort of see what happens in my eyes. Like I say, 2 phenomenal talents, but I think it's going to be very, very close between Ferrari and McLaren. I think it's going to be sort of a tussle for that sort of like podium constructors, if you want to sort of call it that way. But yeah, I think, like I say, I think sort of like 3rd and 4th is sort of really tricky to sort of judge. Like I say, 5th, 6th, and 7th, I think you can probably put a shout out in there for. I mean, I've got to say, I've got AlphaTauri in 5th, Aston Martin in 6th, and Alpine in 7th. And that could be sort of the other way around. You just don't know. But anyway, so that's Ferrari. Like I say, got them in 3rd as the constructors. So yeah, so there we go. So looking forward to them, seeing them, the boys in red. So there we go. So in second, probably doesn't come as a surprise to you, I actually have got Red Bull for second place, but they're going to be very, very close this year. I think this is going to be probably the tightest Constructors' Championship this year, I think, for a long, long time. We've sort of had, obviously, with Mercedes, been running away with it for the last few years consistently, which, you can't argue them if they do it again. But I think this year, I think Max Verstappen is a phenomenal talent, as much I'm not a fan of his in a way, but he's a phenomenal driver. Sergio Perez, who I'm a massive fan of, obviously, great to see him still in Formula One, like I sort of mentioned. And obviously I've got them in for second place this year. But like I say, it wouldn't surprise me if, it wouldn't surprise me if if Red Bull do finish first, because like I say, Mercedes look like they are struggling, but I will get to them in just a second. There we go. So looking forward to seeing them two guys in the Red Bull. So in first place, obviously, last but not least, obviously, in first place, we've got Hamilton and Bottas in the Mercedes. From what I've seen so far, like I said in the first video, I think they're holding something back. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a lot closer this year between Hamilton and Bottas. From what I've seen about Lewis Hamilton, he's got the it's hard to sort of criticise somebody who's 7 times world champion, do you know what I mean? But his attitude towards outside of Formula One, I think, is a bit sort of wrong. But then again, everyone has their sort of differences. Not being funny, it's sort of like, I know you shouldn't compare something to something, but it's sort of like the whole food Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. Hamilton, I'm sort of between. I don't know. A Formula One driver, phenomenal, but as a person outside, I think he's just a bit too much sort of thing. But anyway, so yeah. So like I say, I know, like I said, I sort of they seem to be having their struggles, but I think they're holding something back, because we've seen this before. And we'll probably see it again more than likely. And I think they will just about come through in the end. But I think it's not going to be much more than, I'd say, probably 20, 30 points. I think it's going to be really close this year. So there we go. So that's my constructors sort of done. So there we go. So that is the end of that. So very sort of quickly before I will go, I will sort of do the Drivers' Championship. So what do I think, Simon, of the actual sort of championship itself? Where do I think people will come? I'm not going to go through single, one by one sort of thing, because I think that'll just take far too long, and I'll be here for probably another half an hour or something like that, so probably all day. So and it is sort of getting late here anyway, as you can probably tell by my home screen. So where do I think everywhere will come? Interesting to see what's going to happen this year. I really don't know what's going to happen. I think this year, as like I sort of said, between Mercedes and Red Bull, it's going to be mega tight. I think a lot tighter this year than people probably may think. I think Verstappen is going to win a lot of races this year. He looks in phenomenal shape. And obviously with the backing of a really good partner. I mean, no disrespect to the partners Verstappen's had, not Alex Albon. He wasn't consistent enough for me, but like I say, this year, because he's got sort of the backing of a really good partner, as in Sergio Perez, I think it's going to be really tight. But if you sort of had to sort of give me a top 3, I don't know, you can sort of pick. I think Verstappen will. I don't know. It's hard to sort of call, because because it's only sort of pre-season testing, and obviously practice was today. But it'll be interesting. Right, I'll be brave enough. I'll sit on the. I'll sort of go. Well, I'll go with me brain and sort of gut. I think Bottas will finish third. I just don't think he's going to be up there But then again, you could be second, could potentially be first. You just don't know. Second is going to be mega close this year. I think this could be the year Hamilton actually doesn't win a world championship. I think it could be that, from what I've seen. I don't know, but then again, like I said many a time already, are they holding back Mercedes? Are they holding back something we don't know about? If I mean, the thing is, Hamilton's got the drive to go for an 8th world title, obviously to hold the world record of the F1 titles, drivers' championships anyway. He'll be hungry, but how hungry is he? Obviously, my prediction. Oh, I think he will just do it. I think it will go. I think it will go, and this is how close I think it's going to be. I think Hamilton wins the world championship by the second to last race, which I don't know where that is. So I'm not too sure. So apologies to people that I don't know. But I think Verstappen will come second. Very, very close between him and Mercedes. I think Hamilton does win his 8th world title, and I then think he does retire. And then I think that's when certain Mr. George Russell from Williams will come in, step in. Will Bottas be there for the season after? Tough call, very tough call. But it wouldn't surprise me if they kept him on, because it'd be sort of like a learning curve for George Russell, obviously, to see sort of Bottas, obviously, because he's been there for a long time now, and obviously a very experienced driver. So, but we shall see. But like I say, in the coming years, I think Mercedes, when Hamilton retires, I think George Russell will be there, and I honestly think, I know that won't probably more than likely it won't happen. I really can see Pierre Gasly going to Mercedes. I really do think he will be there sometime in the future, because I think he's a phenomenal driver. I really think he would. I can't see Mick Schumacher going there, because I just think, because it's the first season, I don't think he's going to do well at Haas. But you can only do. Well, you can only ask yourself to do so much, I suppose, in the car. But anyway, so that's my top 3 for that. I think, like I say, it'd be Bottas, Verstappen, and Hamilton in first place. So I think that will be it. But like I say, I think the surprises this year will be, like I say, I think hearing from, like I say, AlphaTauri, from what I'm hearing from line, obviously on the internet. Gasly and Tsunoda look really, really good. So sort of keep an eye out for them. That might be the surprise package. I think this year they might even sneak in a podium. I think that's how sort of quick they can be. Obviously, my favourite team, McLaren. Who's to know what will happen then? We'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting, obviously, because they have Mercedes power now, and we should go from there. But so that is my constructors sort of championship lineup. I think that's how it's going to go in my eyes. I'm only just going from what I've seen and heard and read. And obviously, like I say, the Drivers' Championship, I think Hamilton wins his 8th title, and then I think he will retire. And that's when, like I said, George Russell will come in. And there we go. So that's it. So thanks for putting up with me, people, for waffling on about Formula 1 for best part of nearly 20 minutes. But it's been nice to talk to you people about a bit of F1, something I actually like doing. Not saying I haven't liked recording the games online doing, because I love obviously doing them, obviously. But it's nice to sort of talk a bit about Formula 1, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to talk about a bit of something else like football and darts. Obviously sort of two of my other sort of passions in life. But so thank you, like I say. So as always, like I say to you people, the channel on YouTube is Fatboy Si, if you didn't sort of catch it in my first video of talking about Formula 1. Like I say, Fatboy Si is the name, and it'd be brilliant if you could subscribe, and obviously, try and sort of grow and sort of become into something hopefully in the future. Not at the end of the world if I don't, but it'd be brilliant if you could. But as always, people, like I say, subscribe and like, and obviously any comments are welcome, and obviously tell me your thoughts, what you think is going to happen this year in Formula 1, and obviously constructors and drivers championships and that lot. And obviously, who's going to be your surprise package this year? Obviously, what's going to happen. So, as always, people, that will be it for now. And say thanks for listening again, even though I've just said that. But thanks, like I say, thanks for really listening to me waffling on about Formula One for a bit of while. So, but that's my sort of my predictions. So we'll leave it at that. So there we go. So as always, people, I'll be back for more future videos in the future. I'll be back for more videos in the future. Jesus, I can't get the words out. I do apologise. But I'll have sort of like a couple of sort of things going on in the future, as in sort of like my top 5 drivers from what I've seen over the years. And obviously, you know, other sort of videos of like my top 5s as well, sort of thing. You know, so well, I'll sort of get there of sort of like sort of underrated drivers, top 5 underrated drivers, and obviously my top 5 favourites of all time. So brilliant indeed. So that will be the video done, and that will be it for now. So like I say, as always, people, like I said, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could, and obviously give me your thoughts on what you think, what's going to happen in this exciting Formula One season. I'm looking forward to Bahrain, and I can't wait. So, all take care and stay safe. Have a lovely weekend, people, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. Looking forward to hearing your comments, and obviously see what you think. So, as always, people, take care and stay safe, and let's all get excited for Formula One, eh? Take care, everyone, and stay safe, and I shall catch you again very, very soon for more videos. Lovely job, people. Take care. Bye bye.